Hi guys, Polymath is 100 is back from a millennial of waiting. And today, we're going to be talking about a new topic. Sorry for the long wait. I was really busy and life was just, it was just too much for me to do. And so that just took away my time to do something which I wanted to do. And today, finally, I have that time to show some interesting things. And today, that will be about cars. Usually, we all look at cars and we're like, nice car, Lambo. We look at famous people's cars like, wow, Cristiano Ronaldo has the best car. A Pagani Zonda, whatever he has, I have no idea. But today, let's look at the other side of the spectrum. The worst cars of all time. And I have talked with my friends, Aviation Zone, he loves cars too. And we also looked at some cars, and now I have my list. Please enjoy. This number 5 is the Chrysler PT Cruiser. Yes, this car is the greatest mismanagement by Chrysler in the 21st century for sure. This car honestly looks kind of okay, I guess. Like, it has a weird look to it, I won't lie. But economically it was just not a good car. This came out during the financial recession, and oil prices were rising heavily. And this car, it wasn't very efficient. You need a lot of oil to go for long drives, especially with this car. Not very efficient at all. The design was pretty hideous, honestly. And trunk space was very low, so you can't really go on long drives with it. And really, yeah, and the engines weren't the greatest either. It was 2.45 liter, I believe. And yeah, the flaws by Chrysler for that car, it took a big toll on the company as well, and it was just a massive failure for this American brand, which many drove with. Number 4, Yugo. Yes, I said the Yugo. The worst communist car, I would say, but I have another one coming up in a bit. But wow, this car is a butt of memes of the communists. Jesus. So basically the communists were pretty talented when it came to space. When it came to cars, you can't trust them. Come on. In America, this car is a flop, and in Yugoslavia, this car is actually a monumental change for their government and society. So that's like the one only good thing which happened to this car. But in America, this car was hated. Okay, we might have a bias towards communist cars, but come on, man. Like, the fuel usage of this car was so much. You legit had to fuel this car like every other day. That's how much fuel was taken up by this car. Doug DeMuro also made a video on this, and if you look at the bottom of the car, it was steam and smoke, like way too much smoke. Also, I love how the quote says, everybody needs a Yugo sometimes. Well, this car breaks down way too many times, and when you need the car the most, probably is going to break down any other day. Space is a minimalist for this car. It's really small. Even for like a mini, I would call this tiny. It's like the baby of car. And the engine's not the greatest either, but I do have a toy version of this car. It's okay, I guess. But come on, man. Communists just can't make cars. Communist cars, they both start with C, but yeah, this car definitely is worth a C. Bad. Number 3, the DeLorean DMC12. Okay, now this car is honestly kind of a sad car. Like, I honestly kind of like the design of it. It looks pretty cool. But when this car was released in the 80s, it was considered more of a flop. Even though this car was portrayed in many films, like, honestly, this car, like, when it came down to the main basics and the mechanisms, this car just wasn't worth. Even though the engine was pretty nice, fuel consumption was the main problem, and there was really no trunk. And it was a rear-wheel drive, which made this car hard to drive for many people. And also, by the way, this was American car, obviously DMC, but the company fell into recession shortly after, and they finally basically lost all their money. And honestly, this car does get a really bad rep, and it's kind of, I feel bad for them, because this car really does look, they had the design down on this one. Like, if you look at the PT Cruiser and this one, I would pick this one any day. But if they just fixed their flaws, their fuel consumption was one also as well, and just it was not a very common car. It was made by DMC, and I'm willing to bet most people who watch the video don't even know what DMC even stands for. It stands for DeLorean Motor Company, if you're wondering. And honestly, despite the beauty of this car, honestly, mechanic wise, it just flopped. And this was on the black marks of Detroit manufacturers. You know, Detroit has went on to make amazing cars. This car is just one of the cars which Detroit does not want you to remember. On to the next one. Number 2, the Trabant. Okay, let's start with a quick history lesson because some audience members might not understand this, and I kind of want to make this clear. So, before Germany was Germany and before Russia was Russia, we had the Soviet Union, and we had West Germany and East Germany. So, West Germany was allied, and the East Germans were supported by the Warsaw Pact, basically, in the Soviet Union. So West Germany was thriving, and East Germany was just falling apart. They were like this messed up, and they just did not know what to do. So they basically built a car which made it more reliable for transport. And they built this car called the Trabant. And this car, honestly, okay, it did the work, but it was slow. Like, the fastest speed I think this car goes is like 55 miles per hour. It's really slow. And also what this car does, and it's tiny again. It's really small. And also, I mean, the design's honestly kind of iconic. Like, you can tell it's a Trabant. Like, I'm willing to bet you might have seen something like this before. If you're from India, like, taxis are in this company made almost. But this car, honestly, this car made the financial recession in East Germany worse. People couldn't really afford it in the first place, and oil consumption, again, was spot off, just horrible, like, disastrous. And, yeah, and the East Germans, again, the Soviets were just bad, and communists have horrible cars, so remember that. When you buy a communist car, just don't get it. And number 1, the Ford Edsel. Okay, you might have never heard of this car, and I absolutely don't blame you. This car was so bad, everyone forgot about this car. Like, it was just horrible. So, you might have heard of the Chevy Corvette. I hope you have. And you also might have also heard about the Chevy Bel Air. If you didn't, just look it up. You'll probably recognize it. This car you probably won't recognize, and for a good reason. This car, after Henry Ford died, his son, Edsel Ford, took over. And basically, this car, he wanted to improve his name for himself and make him more famous. But I think this car made him more hated than anything else, honestly. This car is actually, like, in famous companies, they say that car's an Edsel. And when they say it, it means it's a commercial failure. This car sold so little, even though it had some pretty cool technology, which are used in cars today even. This car looked ugly, very unfuel friendly. It was not economic at all. And the front of the car looked like a shocked person's face. Like, if you just look at it closely, it looks like someone's mouth is open and they're looking at something. And honestly, it just wasn't. And after Henry Ford died, this car just wasn't pleasable. And Ford lost a lot of money. They almost went. I don't think they went bankrupt, but they got kind of close, actually. So they basically gave up on this car and they built their normal cars. But I'm thankful Ford learned their mistakes, unlike other things off YouTube. They actually kind of changed, and over years they looked at this failure and they went on to the future and they looked at cars from a different mindset. And they built the Ford Fusion, and they built newer Ford cars like the Ford Taurus, and those became very successful cars. And I think the reason why those cars were built, because Ford, they knew what would happen if they build a horrible car like the Edsel. Like, it was a wake up call for a company which just didn't see failure. Like, when they built a Model T, they were the king of crop in America. And to be honest, I'm actually kind of happy for Ford. But yeah, this car was just not worth buying. Okay, guys, so that was my video for today. Thank you for watching. It honestly means a lot for me. Even if you watch it, even if you didn't like it, it honestly still means quite a bit to me. And And if you also always like, even if you want to dislike for sure. But if you dislike, please comment below what you want me to improve on. I honestly have nothing wrong with a bad comment, or not a bad comment, like just a comment which you don't like about something. I'll definitely take a look into it, and also offer suggestions. I honestly do look at suggestions. Last video, not many suggestions took place, and it's kind of hard for me to make a video today. Honestly, if you want me to make on sports, if you want maybe video games once in a while, I might do. I might review video game consoles too. I don't know, maybe 5 best cars of all time. So yeah, definitely put down below what you want me to do, and I'll definitely think about it. And I'll also comment, and I'll also reply to comments. So, and anytime you can put a comment down. So subscribe, please. That would be heavily appreciated. Like the video, obviously, if you want to. Dislike as well, if you want. And yeah, comment down below. And thank you for watching. It means a lot to me. And also thank you for my loyal subscribers who subscribed from my first video, which was Hello World. It means a lot to me. Bye. Take care.